Jacking the dice game, man. He jacking the dice game, man.
Y'all know I still be in jail right now.
They had guns in there, cuz. Real guns, man.
That the inmate seen in it, believed by the I-Team to be Arthur Johnson, may have been allowed to leave prison on several occasions.
We are gonna die out here if they do not see somebody out here right now.
What's going on, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. For today, this unknown story is going to be coming out of New Orleans. More specifically, the New Orleans House of Detention, or what I'm going to call it for the rest of the video, the HOD, because it's got too many names for me to go through all of them, and it keeps saying them all. Why am I talking about it? Well, compared to other detention centers and jails, this one easily takes the case for having the craziest history and reputation I've ever heard of. Normally you hear these stories in prisons, not jails or detention centers, but this one seems to be smoking all of them. So I figured, why not? Makes a good story. So that's where we'll start off with. The Orleans House of Detention was originally founded in 1837 as a prison for runaway slaves. There, inmates would receive beatings from cat-nine-tails and be limited to a diet of just bread and water. Living in dark, dank, and cramped dungeon-like cells, this practice continued until 1895, when the prison was closed and moved. Later to be relocated several times and reopened to the jail we all know today as the Tower of Terror. I've never been locked up before. If you're gonna get locked up, and the street name for the place you're going to be waiting for trial and sentencing, not even prison. If the jail you're going to start your potentially X amount of years stint is called the Tower of fucking Terror, you're in for some trouble. So now we'll go into the reputation and why the HOD is so known and why I'm talking about it. The HOD had a long-standing reputation of being the worst prison ever in the United States. Between 2000 and 2014, roughly 42 inmates died from a host of causes, but the leading three being violence, of course, treatable medical problems, and drugs, which there was a lot of at HOD. Now, take what I just said with a little grain of salt. 42 doesn't sound like a lot, and it's really not, but more than likely, like a lot of correctional facilities, they don't really want you to know exactly how many people died under their supervision, so my information is a little limited. It's kind of whatever I can find on Google and whatever I was able to pick up from certain articles, which wasn't much. Corruption ran rampant, giving inmates access to unimaginable things. Everything from drugs and phones to knives and even guns.
These niggas had cell phones, son. These niggas had guns. Yo, lads, that's word to fly top.
Jacking the dice game, man. He jacking the dice game, man.
They had guns in there, cuz. Real guns, man.
Yes, guns. These guys had fucking pistols in a jail. Think about that for a minute. Footage recorded and snuck out by inmates would show not only two inmates leaving the jail at night,
Y'all know I still be in jail right now.
walking around Bourbon Street and returning. This was alleged to have happened multiple times.
In court, attorneys for the city of New Orleans did not say when the video was made, but mentioned that the inmate seen in it, believed by the I-Team to be Arthur Johnson, may have been allowed to leave prison on several occasions.
Yeah, I go to court. Should I? Do I go to court today? August the 5th? If they don't let me go, I'm running.
On July 22nd, 2009, Johnson and another man did exactly that.
This correctional facility made national news not only for what they were doing within the walls of the facility, but also what happened on the outside. In 2005, Katrina hit. The jail was in the direct path of the hurricane, so with no time or ability to prepare, inmates were left to fend for themselves. Trapped in their cells for days as water rose, power shut off, air quality diminishing, and no help in sight. The facility quickly fell into chaos. During this chaos, a correctional officer by the name of Renard Reed at the HOD psychiatric ward was locked into the psych ward to stop him from fleeing his position as a guard during the hurricane. After he was told to go to the roof while being handed a loaded shotgun and ordered to shoot and kill anyone trying to leave the facility. Reed remained stranded at the prison long after prisoners were evacuated. So I just want to elaborate on that a little bit more. Most of the guards fled. Few actually stood by and stayed there. The inmates were given zero warning or prep. Their knowledge of it was probably within the day it was happening. The few guards that did remain or didn't have the opportunity to leave were now stuck to look after the inmates. And when they tried to leave, they weren't allowed to. And in this case, as well as a few others, they were forcibly held there. In this case, this man was forced into the psych ward. That's got to be fucking terrifying. You're stuck in a hurricane in a wild-ass jail in the psychiatric ward, and they just shove a shotgun into your chest and say, "Good luck, chief," and then left and locked the door behind them. Well, what's even more fucked up about that, the inmates were evacuated after about 4 days, and then they were famously stuck on the overpass for an additional 4 days, and then eventually were relocated and moved around. Well, they forgot about Mr. Reed, and he remained in that psychiatric ward for several more days on top of the time that the inmates were gone. Meaning he was just in an empty prison filled with water with nobody to help him. So, just when you thought it couldn't get worse, decades went by of this happening without nothing really being done about it. So with all these allegations and stories and reputation, all that stuff, you might be thinking, well, where's the warden in all this? Where's, the guy in charge, the one who's supposed to be calling the shots and making all the big decisions? He wasn't there. In fact, I actually have a quote here from him. When these stories were brought to the public eye and the warden of the HOD, Mr. Guzman, was asked how he'd respond to all these allegations, this was his elegant response to this criticism. None of it was true. Don't rely on crackheads, cowards, and criminals to say what the story is. And I think that about sums it up, ladies and gentlemen. The real moral of the story is don't get arrested. Don't go to jail. Whatever you're going to do, or don't get caught. Definitely not if you're in New Orleans. Well, I think that about sums it up. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you liked it. I hope it was entertaining, at least funny. I'm not going to ask for a like and subscribe. That's up to you guys to make that decision. But the only thing I do ask from you, if there's anything I can do to improve this, make it better, make it funnier, or keep you guys involved more, if there's any stories you'd like to hear, research talked about, let me know in the comments. Send it my way, and I will take it. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day.